everyone, Tasha here, and I'm so excited to be participating in Inktoberfest for Maker Forte. Today I'm going to share with you 3 different ink blending techniques, and we're going to create a fun tag. I'll be using 3 stencils from Maker Forte. The first one is Hats and Bats. This really cool design is called Vintage Vines, and then I'll be using Christmas stars. To begin, I'm going to be using the Vintage Vine stencil, and I'm just going to position it onto my paper and use some low-tack tape to adhere it to my craft mat. I wanted to make sure that this stencil didn't wiggle around, and just a little tape on the ends made it secure. For this design, I'm going to use 3 shades of kind of golden tones. I have Carved Pumpkin, Spice Marmalade, and Squeezed Lemonade. This is going to be a basic ink blended design, so I'm going to start with the lightest color, which is Squeezed Lemonade, in the center. Next, I'll go in with the Spice Marmalade around the Squeezed Lemonade, and then I will go around the edges with the Carved Pumpkin, since that's my darkest shade. I put a layer of the distress ink down of each color, and then I blend them together. So you're going to want to put down each color, and then where those 2 colors meet, you're just going to lightly blend them until you have that perfect blended look. And I'm just going to go around it one more time just to even out the color, and then I'll finish it off with the Squeezed Lemonade in the center and just blend everything together. And once I'm done doing this, when I pull off the stencil, you'll see how that yellow just pops in the center because we have those layers of darker shades going out towards the edges. And this stencil design is really pretty. You can use it all year round, and I actually really like how it looks with the different shades of orange and the yellow in the center. The next project, I'm going to use a lot of different colors of Distress Oxide ink, and I wanted to create a double layered ink blended look. So I'm going to start with the Picked Raspberry, which is the really pretty shade of pink Distress Oxide ink, and then I'm going to start layering my colors. You could also use the colors that are in like a rainbow and do the reds, or you could do maybe a sky color with like blue and maybe ends with like some purple shades. Really any color combination that you want, but I wanted this to be kind of a bright background. So I'm doing pink, some yellow. I'm going in with a really bright Twisted Citron, one of my favorite shades of green. Next, I'll use some Peacock feathers, which is a really pretty shade of teal. And then I'll end with the purple shade, which is Wilted Violet. And I'm just going to go in and layer each one of these colors, and I'm doing the same thing that we did with that basic ink blended design with the first stencil. This is just using more colors, and I did use a little piece of vellum just to protect my fingers. You can use a piece of paper towel or a scrap piece of paper and just kind of move it along so you don't end up getting fingerprints on your design. Now I just gave it a couple seconds to dry a little bit, and now I'm going to layer on the Christmas star stencil. I'm using that same low tack tape just to make sure I kind of adhere it to my work surface. And now I'm going to go in with a black Distress Oxide ink. And since I let that bottom layer ink dry a little bit, I can just layer this black ink on top, and I won't have any type of weird smearing. It'll just be that really nice dark black color. And I wanted to have the stars black because I had that really fun rainbow background, and I thought with the black stars it would really allow those colors to pop. So I'm just going in and going over each one of those stars, and I'm re-inking as I go because I wanted these to be really nice and dark black. You can also go over them again and just, keep layering it until they are the color that you want. And once I was done, I'm just going to gently remove the stencil. I love how this looks. It's so neat looking with those rainbow colors in the background. And I think it's a really cool design. The next project, we're going to create a tag. I'm using the stencil called Hats and Bats, and this is a newer one for fall, and a tag from Maker Forte. I'm going in with a purple shade, and then black, and then a really pretty blue shade, which is Blueprint Sketch. And I'm doing, again, those same techniques I just showed. I'm going to start with the purple in the center. I'm going to use Blueprint Sketch to go around the purple, and then I'll finish it off with the black soot, the black ink color around the edges, and then I'll just blend all those colors together. So I kind of showed you how to do the basic blend on the first project, and we just use those same techniques on all three different designs. So I'm going in with the darkest color. This is also nice if you wanted to have a brighter color in the center and just go around the edge with the darker black color, because it makes a kind of a glowing look to your design, and I think it's a really cool look on any project. So I just went over everything again, and it looks like a mess over the stencil, but it's going to turn out really nice when you pull it up. Now I gently removed it, and you get this really cool kind of like a night sky look on these bats and witch hats. I think it's really fun. Now to add some sparkle, we're going to put some glitter embossing powder on top of the distress ink. So you don't have to go over it with embossing ink or the embossing glue. You just have to put it on top of the distress ink while it's still wet, and you can emboss right on top of it. And since I used embossing powder that had glitter, it's clear, but it has tons of sparkles. So you still get to see all of that cool distress ink colors that you just worked on. And since it looks kind of like that night sky, I just think it's really fun for a Halloween card, because it has like the bats flying around, but instead of flying against the night sky, it's like within the image. To add a little more interest and color, I'm going to go around the edges with Twisted Citron. I told you this is one of my favorite shades of green, and Halloween colors, I always think of purples, blacks, oranges, and then these bright greens. So I run around each of the edges or each of the sides with the Twisted Citron, and it adds such a cool pop of color, and you don't have to worry about any of those colors blending together because we already embossed these images. So I'm just going to use a piece of cloth. You can use any type of cloth you want, just to wipe off that distress ink from the embossed hats and bats. For the sentiment on my projects, I'm using this really fun paper from Maker Forte, and this is actually a Slimline paper pad that has tons of sentiments for all different seasons and holidays throughout the year. One side has the black writing on the white, and then the opposite side has the white writing on the black. So you can mix and match. You can also put foil on top and run these through your Mink or whatever tool you have for foiling, and you can foil because it's a toner sheet. I'm just wanting to have that whole white lettering on the black background. This is also fun, so you don't have to use like embossing powder. You can just have that same look. And then I layered a piece of glitter paper behind it for some extra sparkle. Now, since this is a tag, we have to have something to kind of hold it onto a bag. I was thinking maybe a treat bag for Halloween. So I'm just going to go in with this really fun, it's like a green and white baker's twine, and I'm just going to fold it over. You just have to fold it, just fold it as many times as you want for how thick you want it. Put it through the hole, and then you just pull it through to make a simple, I guess it's not really a knot, but you know how you just kind of pull it through. And then just trim it so that it's all the same size, and you can attach it to anything that you want. This is how my final projects turned out. I just love these ink blending techniques and all the bright colors. I hope you enjoyed and will try out some of these techniques. Definitely stop by Maker Forte, and I hope you're having fun with Inktoberfest. Have a great day. Bye-bye.